All right, here we go. Yo, 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 what up, though? Geedy P, we back. How you doing, my guy?
I'm glad to be back, man. Second time around. I appreciate you always extending your hand and opening your arms. So, it was always love from New Orleans to Detroit and even in Dallas to Dallas. So, much love, man.
For sure, man. I appreciate it, man. Again, welcome back to Mogul State of Mind. It's tough for a mogul, right?
Right.
Because, recently I've been tapping in Detroit trying to do interviews up there.
Right.
But, most niggas be like, man, that nigga ain't from Detroit, he from Texas.
Oh,
then, when you in Texas, they saying this nigga's an out-of-towner. He ain't from Texas. So right now, a mogul ain't got no place to lay his home, man. So I live life rough.
Right, so that's why you got to hit the road and just go to where they love you at, man, where you celebrate, not tolerate it.
Yeah, man. And shout out to you, man. It seemed like a lot of people been celebrating you.
Right.
I see it. Congratulations being part of Cash Money now.
Right.
A&R with Southern Region, is that how it's said?
Yeah, he wanted me to do the stuff for the South now. Anything he see that I like out the South, bring it to his attention.
That's dope. And you know what I'm saying? And we'll touch on that in a little bit. Also, you know what I'm saying, I see a lot of people pouring out just a lot of love to GDP about what you mean to New Orleans.
Right.
And, just always bigging up New Orleans.
Right.
If you can define yourself, we know Sean Cotton labeled you as the spokesman of New Orleans. And you got some pushback. And we're going to also talk about that as well. How do you define yourself? And what is it that you feel like you bring to New Orleans from you?
I feel like I bring another voice to somebody that's passionate about where I'm from, that can articulate themselves well enough and just gonna always stand up for what's right. So like I say, if it's defending something that came from us in hip hop, that I know that we was part of, like making part of pop culture, or if it's something with a law that I feel like is wrong and I could learn about it and I could be instrumental in talking about it. If I gotta go speak to legislators, if I gotta go to the Capitol building in Baton Rouge and let them know we here and we got voices for people that's behind those walls, I'm gonna do that. So I don't just look at myself like it's just the New Orleans. It's not a title. I'm just a person, one of many, that's just gonna stand up for what's right or whatever. And by me loving Tupac a lot and Pimp C, and people like Malcolm X and just all those freedom fighters and stuff like that, people that spoke up and just spoke from the heart, I'm gonna do that and stuff like that,
Got you. Now, let's talk on the Cash and Money part. Birdman bigging you up, giving you this A&R, the Southern Region. Kind of explain what this title is, what's your duty, and how did you end up linking up with Birdman?
Well, the reason he hit me up around it was sometime around Valentine's Day, and he had DM'd me, and he was telling me he loved what I did when I was working with BTY Youngin. BTY Youngin was an artist before that I used to manage. He out Pigeon Town in the 17th, Uptown. That's the same water Lil Wayne from, but it's different sections. So the particular part Youngin was from Pigeon Town, and Babe is from Uptown too, and all that. So I used to work with him, and Youngin told him a lot of good stuff about me. He was saying, like, when he was in jail, I kept his music going. I was pushing his music when he was away and stuff like that. So Youngin admired the work I put in for him, and he was like, man, I was real. So he always told Baby about me. I never knew that till Baby told me that. He was like, man, you kept it real behind the walls with Young. I respect that. That's some real G shit. So I like what you're doing, and I've been seeing what you've been doing. I heard of your name, but I never knew the face. Because Youngin told me about you, so now I'm being able to see it. So when he was seeing how I was able to curate stuff through my page, posting artists and talking about hip-hop and my knowledge, he admired that or whatever. So I think that was that too. Just like, when I was talking about Babe and them on the show, when I went to Miami and met him at Hit Factory, on the show I was talking about how Cameron was influenced by Baby and Master P too. And Cameron came under my post from Dipset, and he was like, man, this nigga spit knowledge and facts. And Cam even posted, and he was talking about when he went to a junior college at Narville, I think, or something like that, in Texas, a JUCO. He played basketball, and Cam was talking about how Baby and them influenced him and just the dudes from the South. So Baby seen what I know, and I guess in the stuff with Youngin, and it was like, man, I want you to kind of be my eyes and ears for anything that you feel like hot in the South. Not just New Orleans, even though we want to make sure we highlight the city because that's where we from. But if you see some hot in Mississippi, South Carolina, Tennessee, anywhere in the South, let me know.
Now, with the region, are you, and you don't have to really say your business. Now, are you more of a actual contractual employee of Cash Money, or is this more like a what's the word I would use for, like, well, let me just say, Are you under contract with Cash Money? Like this is a paid job and you going around searching for talent?
Well, like I said, we were still supposed to be meeting tomorrow and stuff like that. Cause like the first time I met him, I had a lot of people around me in the studio and I was just bringing artists around him. So we never had a chance to do the one-on-one stuff. But he did say he want to put some type of deal together and see what we could do and all that. So right now, I just been still looking or whatever, but because it's an honor, you know. I mean, I always looked up to Baby and P and Sugar Slim and all that. So just for him to know who I'm is, that's definitely dope. But like I said, he want to still put something together. So ain't nothing on Black and White if that's what you asking. Ain't nothing yet. But he offered me the position. That's what he did on Instagram when he DM'd me. He said, I would like to offer you the position to be the A&R of Cash Money South if you don't mind doing that. You know, if you would like to do that.
Dope. Now, you getting out there meeting Baby for the first time, man. Like, you know, a lot of people, although Baby is seen, you don't really fully get his personality. And of course, when people think of Baby, they think Breakfast Club.
Right.
All three of y'all. You know, everybody remember that iconic moment. But you got to see him in his element. What was Baby like, man? What was his story?
When I first met him, he came in the studio, he hit me up, and you know, when I first talked to him on the phone, it was around Ramadan, so he was telling me, you know, he doing his thing. But after that, he was like, we're gonna meet at the studio. So he had booked the studio, like Hit Factor. I own the studio, that's my studio. That's where Wayne did the Call That and all the classic Cash Money albums, a lot of them was recording in that studio. So met him at the studio, and I had a lot of people with me at the studio. And you know, he was just telling us, the first thing he told us, killing music, the most important thing is the engineer. He said, you know, the engineer is the most important thing. It's more important than the song. It's more important than the artist sometimes because they make the stuff sound good. So always respect the people that's behind the scenes that make the shit sound good and look good. So he let us know that's the first lesson. And then he gave me a big old bottle of champagne and dapped me off or whatever and stuff like that. And then he was just telling us how you want to try to help get New Orleans back in motion with the talent that's out there now, whatever, because he did so much, but he still won't do something now again. You know, even though he accomplished so much other stuff, he still feel like he loved his city that much that he still want to try to see what he could do to help out. And he see that I'm doing what I'm doing, and he said he admired that or whatever. So he like, you know, I like what you're doing, and I want to see how we could kind of come together. So I've been still telling him about certain artists, and I just be trying to stay in his ear. I talked to him like 4 times yesterday, and I texted him a little before I came here and all that.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Congrats on that. Now, speaking of the state of hip-hop right now, especially with New Orleans, you being ground zero, Rod 49.
Right.
Making big noise right now.
Definitely Rod 49, yeah.
And then what's the Fresh and the My Blicky dudes?
Oh, yeah. They going with the singing and stuff like that, yeah. They be going viral a lot of Instagram pages, blogs and stuff like that too, yeah.
How do you feel about the My Blicky? I need to look up their name.
I mean, it's catchy. The song is definitely real catchy, and a lot of people like it. It go viral on TikTok and all. Like you said, they definitely great at grabbing attention. They know how to market themselves. They know how to play off one another very well. So I think that's a great strategy that they're using. Whatever. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I feel like, you know, it's working for them and it's doing good for what they're doing and stuff. They know how to capture the blog's attention. They know how to do it better than most artists. And I think that's what a lot of artists don't understand, the power of how to use social media to help you. I remember Young Dolph said it before, if you can learn how to use your cell phone, you can make yourself a millionaire. You just got to know how to use it.
Yeah.
So I feel like they good at knowing how to brand themselves and how to get attention. And they got attention with that song, and it's doing viral on TikTok and a lot of other social media platforms.
And it's Fresh and Reckless, my bad.
Fresh and Reckless, yeah.
What about Rod 49? I know Sean had a good relationship working with Rod 49. I know he had that setback of getting shot at the French Montana.
Yeah, in Miami got shot, yeah.
That whole situation, like,
right.
Seeing a resurgence of him, like, what does Rod 49 mean to the city? Like, how
I
do you
mean,
embrace
he
him?
a breath of fresh air. I mean, we needed that, you know. I mean, and Rod and Cash Money, you know, for a long time, that was mostly Uptown. So, you know, you had Baby and them, you had No Limit, mostly from Uptown. And this time, you know, Rod 49, he from downtown. So he repped the Fort Ward and the Ninth Ward, which is the Desire Project, the Ninth Ward, and the Fort Ward, the Iberville Project, which was originally Storyville. But Rod 49, definitely the energy he brought was, you know, it was good. You know, people loved it when he had Lil Babe out there. He had Kevin Gates at the video shoot. Even what he doing now, being on a freshman cover for the Double XL, that was big. You know, being at the BET Awards. So it's good to give a lot of artists hope. And, you know, Rod 49 always come down there every year around Juneteenth. He always have the Vulture Island weekend or whatever. So, you know, he bring a lot of local artists out and highlight them and stuff like that. And then he bring a lot of his friends that's celebrities in the game to New Orleans and they come perform. So it's just another person that's just putting a light on the city. And I think that what he doing is dope. I think he doing a good job at what he have, you know, he been doing good so far. So I like it. And shout out to his dad and his mom. His dad got a book out right now too on Amazon, so y'all need to check that out.
Dope. Now, of course, you know, one of the biggest internet sensations right now, well, you got two. Terrance Gangsta Williams doing this thing, going crazy. Of course, Charleston White.
Right.
A lot of people thought Charleston was going to fall off by now, and he's
Still
been
going.
able to and just get bigger and bigger.
Comedy and everything, yeah.
Yeah, so you're bona fide, we could say you're a bona fide celebrity
Right.
now. I heard rumor that Charleston White is on Lil Uzi Vert album.
Okay.
So that's the rumor out there. I don't know if that's true. But pretty much I think Uzi may have taken a clip from one of Charleston interviews when Charleston was going at Uzi. I don't know if he was going at Uzi, but the clip sounded like he was saying like him painting his fingernails, all kind of feminine shit.
Right.
But Charleston is big on the nigga nation, N-I-G-G-A.
Yeah.
We know, was that Pac was also had that movement as well.
He had an album called Strictly for My Niggas that came out in 93, I think.
Yeah. And so a lot of people may equate that to Pac, but you know, a lot of time people think Thug Life with Pac.
Right.
If you could compare, contrast the two of Charleston, well, I'll rephrase it. How do you feel about Charleston N-I-G-G-A movement and his nigga nation?
Well, what I feel about it, I feel like, first of all, I remember Charleston said something like he don't want to date black women because he feel like the hair of the baby would be like nigga hair, like real coarse hair.
Yeah.
He said that's why he wanted to have, I guess, babies
biracial,
with Mexicans, white women and all that, because he wanted to have good hair. And I thought that was crazy because Tupac mama had real coarse hair. His mom is from North Carolina. I think it's called Lumberton, North Carolina. She's from originally. But they moved to New York. And when she moved to New York, she wanted to be a cheerleader, but all the girls teased her because they said she was a pickaninny. So Tupac mama was very pro-black. He was, and his stepdad definitely was too, Matula Shakur. And his sister Set is very, very dark. So for Charleston to be saying that he representing the never ignorant getting goals accomplished, and Z and niggas, Tupac never let us know what the Z stand for, but the never ignorant getting goals accomplished, whatever, Tupac loved black people. His name come from a Peruvian liberator, a guy from Peru named Tupac Amaru. It was a tribe, an Inca tribe, and it was a lot of them named Tupac Amaru. One of them that got killed by the Spaniards, they took his legs and his arms and they pulled him with a horse and pulled him apart. But he was the liberator that was fighting for his people. So his mama said, I want you to know that only black people didn't go through a struggle. A lot of people did, and this man did fighting for his people. So for Charleston to say that, that's crazy, whatever. Then, you know, Pac said, I wonder why we hate our woman. Do we rape our woman? It's time to be real to our woman. So on that, when he said the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, that's another reason when Charleston was saying that he a woman didn't want to give him sex and he tried to eat it and he forced himself on her, and that's like rape. So, but you talking about dudes want to run trains and listen to 2 Live Crew songs and talking about, hey, let's get some pussy and run the train, but then you saying on live that you'll force yourself on a woman because she didn't want to let you have sex with her. So when you saying that you for what Tupac was for, and you saying that the state gave you permission, I don't feel like you should represent that because Tupac was for black people, and he loved his mama hair. And when she had a low haircut, all the way to when she grew her dreadlocks out, and she was very, very dark-skinned. So I don't think she would have appreciated you saying that about black women, why you wouldn't have a black child with a black woman.
Why should Charleston care? Like,
well,
Tupac is a man. Who gives a fuck what Tupac said?
Because you using his shit and you saying you're a Tupac baby. You said Tupac inspired you.
But nigga is not his shit.
I know that, but he's using the way Tupac used it. So it's cool you saying you get it from Tupac. Now, if you was just saying, nigga, but when you said never ignorant getting goals accomplished, you saying in the Tupac way, you didn't say this publicly. You didn't say this on numerous shows. So if you going to say you doing it for Pac and you love Pac and Pac, you know, you looked up to Pac and all that, then I don't think Pac would agree with that or whatever. And his mama wouldn't either. I don't think Mr. Fina would agree with that.
Okay, and if they don't agree, then what?
That's cool. I mean, I'm just saying, how you gonna fly the flag and feel like you representing for what Pac stood for, and that's a contradiction, that's all.
So you feel like, okay, so Charleston got biracial kids.
Right. And he entitled to that if he wants to.
Yeah, because he said that in my interview. That was why he had biracial kids. That came from my interview.
Right.
And he probably said it on his live too.
Right.
But he's smart enough to understand what you just said Afeni Shakur went through because of her hair texture, how much harder it made it for her.
Right.
You don't go, if he understand how hard it is for black kids with natural texture hair, why would I birth kids in this world before they get here? They actually be here. Why not strategically put them in position where they can be more successful? Because lighter skinned black people, curlier hair, softer hair, light people, they seem they're closer to Anglo, so they seem less threatening than a person. I'm not a, you know what I'm saying, with more coarse hair.
Right.
So as a man, if he see the plight of black people, and knowing that no matter who he lay with, his kids will be black.
Right.
So if my kids is going to be black anyway, why not sit down and genetically select somebody that will give my kid an advantage?
But your kids might still be the ones that was teasing people like Afeni. If she still felt like that, she could have went dated a white man.
Yeah, but that's speculation. So what? They may or may not.
But she could have went had kids for a white man if she wanted to do that. Outside our race, if she wanted to do that, because she felt like, I don't like my hair, I'm gonna go date a white man and have a baby for him. She didn't do that. She loved who she was, and she was proud of who she was, and her son was proud of who he was. And his sister is darker than him, and she proud of who she is.
Yeah, but how does that mean Charleston not proud of who he is?
But what I'm saying is what he representing. You saying you represent what Pac represented. You ain't represent what Pac represented. That's cap. That's what I'm saying. That's bullshit. Pac wasn't for that shit. So that's
he wasn't
what I'm
for interracial. He dated Madonna.
I'm saying he could still date her, but he ain't no baby for her. Pac ain't never said no shit like that publicly. I never have a baby for a black woman because their hair gonna be like. He ain't never said that shit. Of course he fucked a lot of different women. He was a celebrity or whatever. He lived like a rock star. A lot of dudes do, but Charleston strategically said that I would not have no nigga babies because I wouldn't want my kid to look like this. That's why Malcolm X said, who made you hate your nose? Who made you hate your lips to the soles of your feet? Who made you feel like you don't look good and you not worthy?
But he didn't say nothing about whether he hated. He understand that by having a coarse-haired child that is putting his kids
behind the 8 ball. You got to be proud of how you made it or whatever. No matter what nationality is, you
don't have to do nothing.
But you only looking at that from a stand of a white man making you feel like you ain't worthy, you don't look good.
I was saying, and you acting, but you also acting like a Afeni Shakur and Tupac. The way that they said things is gold. They can be fucking wrong too, and it's just their perspective.
He could do whatever he wanted. If he want to date white women, he want to date Mexican women, he want to date whatever, Asian woman. He could do that. But you saying you represent what Pac represent, that's all I'm saying. This man was really for his people, and he loved black people, and he would never, that's why he said the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Charleston don't feel 100% like Pac. A broke clock two times out of the day is right, yeah.
Okay, who says
so he could be right sometimes?
Who could say Pac wasn't a broken clock? Because it's a walking contradiction. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, but then Pac turn around and date white women.
He could date white women or whatever. That don't still mean he don't appreciate black women, though.
So Charleston can have light-skinned biracial kids don't mean that he don't like black people.
But Pac ain't got to say that or whatever. You still saying that this man said, I don't like black women because their hair gonna come out like this or whatever.
He never said he didn't like black women. He said why he had biracial children.
Yeah, he said I would never have no black. That's what I'm saying. So you pretty much hate him though.
No, but what color is his children?
They biracial.
No, they're not biracial. What color is his children?
They still gonna be considered black no matter what.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
So what you think what kind of message you think that sent to black woman that's dark complexion when you say shit like that?
Hey, I don't care what the message is. He has a right to understand to give his children.
He do, but don't rep no Tupac shit. That's what I'm saying.
He can rep Tupac shit because he can still have this, just like Tupac love black people and date white women. Charleston can love.
You talking about one white? You act like Pac was like Quincy Jones,
we don't know.
That's why Pac went off on Quincy Jones. He only dated fucking Madonna, and he probably just did that because it was just some shit that looked good.
We can't speculate it. We know he dated a white woman.
How many people that we know publicly? They got a lot of interviews out there.
I don't know anything publicly.
How many interviews we didn't see everybody? The only one we know is Madonna.
Interviews don't mean nothing.
We know Madonna and probably some porn stars.
Okay, so he dated white women.
No, he didn't date no white women. Don't try to make him like Quincy Jones, like he dated, like that's what his preference was.
What's a lie? Who cares about how many? He dated one.
Malcolm X dated white women before. That don't mean he still wouldn't. He didn't have no, right.
But what I'm saying is, even if Malcolm X dated a white woman,
right,
he didn't date one while he was Malcolm X. He did it when he was Malcolm Little.
He still would listen.
Well, don't listen to me.
All right.
All I'm saying is one doesn't have to do with the other. Charleston White can purposely sit and want the best for his children, and he understand the plight that although he may not want to lay with a black woman and have kids from her, because he know that can set his kids back generations because of an unnecessary battle that they have to fight, he can lay down with somebody else that makes his kids more appealing to whoever, the masters that run everything, which his kids come in the world with an advantage because he has a right to pick how he want to give his kids the best advantage. This is not a black thing. This is a parent and picking genetically for my kids to give them the best chance. And he did that. He felt like his kids had the best chance coming out with a certain texture.
So
what
kind of signal would that send to your sister or your mom if
they need to fucking think?
Wow.
They're adults.
Wow.
Why are you letting another man choose and and make you sway your mindset?
So my mama was a dark woman, and I was like, well, I don't want my kids to look like my mama. I want her to look like this because they gonna probably respect her more than people might respect my mama. But my mama fought for her. My mama did all these things for me to put me through school, make sure cause she too dark, I'm ashamed of her. I wouldn't want I wouldn't want my daughter to look like their grandmother.
So you twisting two different things. We're talking about an advantage. You're talking about respect.
It's called dignity. It's called self-dignity.
No, it's called leverage and it's called...
Man, that's bullshit.
It's leverage. You're talking about respect. Charleston said nothing about...
Charleston not no Pac, bro. That's what I'm gonna say.
He's not. But what I'm saying is you're thinking emotionally, not logically. Man. Logically, what Charleston is saying is that there is an advantage to being light-skinned and having good hair. Do we agree with that? Is there an advantage?
Of course people like...
Hold on, yes or no? Don't
in a white man's world?
Hold on.
In a white man's world?
It doesn't... Right now...
In a white man's world?
That's who run this world right now. So in this world...
In America, yeah.
Yes, there's an advantage.
And that's fucked up.
It is. But that's the game we play, right? So if a man right here sit and say...
But that don't mean it's right, though.
Hold on. It's not about right or wrong.
Wow.
It's about an advantage for your children.
Okay.
It's about giving them the best shot they can because them kids didn't ask to be here. So if Charleston is smart enough to sit down and say, okay, dark-skinned people do have a harder time than lighter-skinned people. So if he chooses to have lighter-skinned kids with a texture of hair, so just by biologically, when people see them, it gives them an advantage in life. It is nothing wrong with that. Because guess what? They're born still black. So if they still achieve all the upper echelon things of life, they're still black and can still be helping other black people. So the decisions that Charleston made benefits black people. You may not like it. You may say, well, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. You should have got a dark-skinned sister.
Right.
But when you bringing in black kids in the world and biologically they don't have to deal with what Afeni had to went through.
The prejudice. So would that mean the police could still shoot them because they're a little light-skinned black dude? They're not going to, the police not going to.
It is less likely. Police may.
But if you're a little dark-skinned, he's going to probably get blasted
Unfortunately, colorism exists.
And that's,
darker skinned people seem to the society, darker skinned people get painted more threatening than lighter skinned.
Just like in a lot of urban communities, just like here or even in LA or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of the black dudes and a lot of Mexican dudes, the police target them a lot.
Yeah.
Now, Mexican people might be like, we still Mexican, but you still gonna look down on the class people just because where they from or because they not where you from. And you're going to feel like I could shoot them, I could put them in jail or whatever. Like, it's still not right. So people shouldn't have to mix with white people to feel like they're more accepted.
You're right. A lot of things shouldn't be, but it is. And
I
that's
just
the
feel
fact
like
of
Charleston, all I'm saying, Charleston have the right to do that because they got a lot of black men that want to date white women. I'm just feeling like if you feel like you for
He's
black
married
people,
to a black
you
woman.
always say that but she still might be a little dingy because he ain't gonna have no baby for her.
You moving the goalpost.
He ain't gonna have no babies for her.
It don't
why
matter.
He don't have no babies for her?
He got black kids. It don't matter.
But why he don't have no babies for her?
He don't have to have no baby from her.
She could be married to him but don't have no kids for her.
It don't matter.
I'm not gonna get you pregnant.
It don't matter.
And she should be totally fine with that.
She loving his black kids. His kids are still black. He's building an empire with a black woman, and yet you still.
But he wouldn't have babies for that black woman.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Wow. But he love her though.
You don't know if she can't have babies.
No, but if she could, he probably wouldn't want to.
You don't know.
He wouldn't want to because she's black though.
Okay, even if that's the case.
But he love her.
Hey, it doesn't matter.
And even if she want him, she like, Charles, I want to have babies for you.
When you date somebody, you find out if they want to have kids or not.
Man, that man is a piece of, that man is bullshit, man.
I just feel like you think
But
emotionally.
we could agree to disagree. I don't respect it or whatever. But that's he could do what he wants. That's his preference.
I think you should, bro. I just think you looking at it from a emotional standpoint with Tupac.
Because it don't even got nothing to do with Pac. I love black women. I love black people or whatever. So I just would never say that to a black kid that somebody shouldn't want to have a child for you because you just a little bit too darker.
Yeah.
Like your nose a little bit too wide. Like you don't got a little small pointy nose like a European. So you not pretty. Your hair don't look like this, or your lips too big. Like I don't know. Like, I just feel like that sent a bad signal to a little child when you showing them the test and saying, well, this baby dog bad and this baby dog good just because this one dark and this one light. The baby dog test, you fucking a kid up from the beginning to say, well, y'all better than them because y'all lighter and y'all hair like this and they not good because they got nappy little beady hair.
Okay,
that hurt their self-esteem.
So
that don't make them feel worthy.
Let's agree that the world shouldn't be based on how somebody pigmentation look.
Definitely.
It is a primal, is a stupid construct to look at somebody and determine the character, who they are, and the value simply by the color of his skin. It is very stupid that it's like that.
Just like a girl because she got light skin and she got good at, right.
It is very stupid. Yeah. Unfortunately, we live in a world where that exists.
I agree.
And the thing is, you don't have kids yet, right?
Nah.
But I know as a dad, you're going to do all that you can before your kids who didn't ask to be here.
Right.
This is your good time that brought them here.
Right.
You're going to try to put them in the best situation for them to win. Right. Of course, yes, shout out to the race.
Right.
But you helped the race from the house, the inside out, not the outside in. It starts at home. And what Charleston did, I can understand why he did it, because he gave his kids a better opportunity genetically from the outside, from the inside out. So just their appearance allows them to get advantages that, unfortunately, darker skin.
Yeah, because I know a lot of times some people might name their kids like Caden or certain little names because they feel like if it's on a resume, it's going to sound better than Keisha.
Because once you start seeing Deion Shanante with hyphens, apostrophes, it shouldn't be that way.
Right, yeah. But that's the world we live in.
And you can buckle down and say, I'm going to name my kid whatever I want, and that's fine. But you got to also understand and prepare your kid for whatever battle.
Because it's going to be a rough road,
Charleston still got black kids, and he still got to prepare them like, hey, you still going to have to deal with this because you're black. It's still a lot of things. The only thing that's
because like Colin Kaepernick dealt with it, like sometimes they even deal with that, like not being accepted. Like they say I'm not too black, I'm too white. So then you got to deal with that. So there's a lot of other things you might still be saying I'm doing it for this reason, but then the kid might still go through a lot because they biracial and they're like, you ain't black enough, you ain't white enough, or you this or you that, or you trying to be hood and you ain't, So they got constant battles. They did with identity, just trying to find out where they fit in the world. But
probably so, but unfortunately, that's the bullshit we live in because people, again, put value on the color and the skin and texture of hair. So we can eliminate that. We wouldn't even have to deal with the conversation. Now, damn, I lost my trail. I'm going to come back in a second. We got our Skip and Shannon on right there.
That was that. I know, like, anytime I go on a show, when I come sit down with you, I know it's going to be, I'm like, you got to get ready, though. You got to have you about to get in the ring for real. Or it's about to be like a real bout.
I just challenge people, man. If you believe something, believe it. I'm just challenging to make sure you stand on it. I love it, though.
That's why I told you, like, every time I do something with you, I'll be like, man, I ain't about to tell you, like, don't ask me this, whatever you want to ask me. If I don't want to answer, I just sit next question. But if I feel like I'm going to talk about it.
Gotcha.
I know.
Now, I know Glorilla recently dropped a song.
Tomorrow.
And then also the whole, what's the name too? Sexy Red, that Ski.
Yeah.
And I seen you was kind of going with both. Like, you feel like they was kind of borrowing from the new NO flavor a little bit. Kind of touch on both of them. Why you feel like...
Well, Glorilla had a song that was from the streets of the West Bank. Mobile Joe, a record label on the West Bank. Mobile Joe is music executive that owned the record label that came out with the artist Cheeky Black that made Twerk Something, Be Real with it. They had a song, Ricky B, Shake for Your Hood. It was all good. Anyway, he had that song with the Rulers Juveniles called Streets of the West Bank. And the beat sound just like that Carly B and Glorilla had did. So he got a lawsuit going against him right now. So I spoke out about that, how people keep taking from our culture and the shit sound just like it or whatever. And that's why he been going around talking about it and trying to, do the lawsuit. Then Sexy Red from St. Louis. She did the song with the Ski, and then she had the other song on too. It was another damn song I can't think of, but she had the Ski and she had the Pound Town. Dudes out of Baton Rouge, they had a song a few years ago called Pound Town, Pound Town. It got a little jig sound to it in Baton Rouge, but the dude that was been saying the Ski, he from the Salisbury area, which is in Jefferson Parish. But people say they've been saying it all. It always been floating around through Louisiana. But I was able to show her old videos when he was actually saying it. But I know she got the record going around now, and she bigger. So they always say that, the person with the biggest budget, they usually win or whatever because they could do this, or they got the lawyers to kind of clean his case up.
Do you think she saw his song somewhere and then say, I'm going to just do that?
I don't know. It's a possibility because a lot of people see stuff from New Orleans, but I can't say for sure. I can't say for sure because ain't nothing guaranteed. Like, it's no way possible I could constantly.
Or is it that the human minds aren't that creative that somewhere somebody done already thought of what you thought?
That too, it could be that too, but I think it's so ironic with that Streets of the West Bank song with Cardi B, because like if you hear the damn beat, it sounds just like it. And this is the kind of shit that get all the sued all the time from using somebody's shit, and you be like, well, I never heard of that. Because it was one time that Jubilee, which is the guy, I don't know if you know DJ Jubilee, real popular in New Orleans, he made the Get It Ready, and the Stop Beat, all the Beanie Weenie and all that, he did that. So they had a guy that Floyd Mayweather signed out of Philadelphia, and he was doing the song.
Yeah.
And he doing the dance like that. And he said, and I showed him the video when Jacoby Jones did it at the Super Bowl when Baltimore played Frisco, and he did the Beanie Weenie. You probably remember in the Superdome when the lights went out that time. And then I showed him Wayne and Currency doing it on Where the Cash At. Then I showed him Jubilee doing it way in the 90s. And the dude said, I'm sorry, I didn't know that y'all already was doing that dance. You know, we just had started doing it recently, but we never knew that y'all was doing it in New Orleans. He said, from now on, when I do talk about it, I'm going to mention Jubilee and all that. And Jubilee told me, thank you. So you're right. Some people might have didn't see it, but some people did. And he said they didn't know that we had been doing that dance years ago. And he said it got to be a real dance because Lil Wayne and Currency doing it and Jacoby Jones doing it at the Super Bowl, you know?
When you look at like hip-hop has always been a premise from sampling.
Right.
Taking the construct of something that already exists and building upon it.
Right.
Putting your own spin on it.
Right.
Do you look at hip-hop as a culture of thieves?
I mean, if you look at it like that, I mean, of course, it started like that. It would start, and I think thieves is a harsh damn word to use, but you're right. A lot of them was pulling from James Brown records and sampling and stuff like that and building around the beat and scratching. So, but I think that was the creativeness of it and the ingenuity of it, a whole idea to pull something, then build on that idea. And once they got it right, where they was able to add the more musical stuff in there and people really play it, you know, then you able to see that. But I think it started like that. It started from them pulling from that and then building on the idea. But yeah, a lot of people pull from stuff, and there's nothing wrong with people sampling and pulling from old ideas, whatever, because it's flattering. Everybody probably pulled from something. Everybody was inspired by a movie. A book made you probably want to do something. The way you did a football move came from somewhere. So there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you kind of give credit and say, well, man, look, I was inspired by y'all, so my sound might be a little... You might hear Lil Prince in here.
Yeah.
You know, like with Bruno Mars, he don't have a problem with saying that he was inspired by Prince or Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
The Weeknd don't neither with Michael Jackson. So there's nothing wrong with that. But when you just straight act like you did it and you ain't pulled from nobody and that was all you, then that's when people get mad.
So what's the artist in New Orleans that did the ski? What's his name again?
That's Dirt Life.
So
Dirt
then
Life.
Does he go back and kind of give the AKAs and the Zetas they credit?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. It do kind of sound a little like that too or whatever.
It sound more like that
with the AKAs. Yeah, it sound like there's a little too and all that. So I could kind of, you're right. It could ski wee, yeah. So it do kind of, it is close to that. And I thought about that too. So you're right.
But you're gonna ride for New Orleans, so you're gonna give New Orleans the credit.
But I still
feel it.
But no,
I
but
do
listen,
the same shit too.
But I did say that though before too, that it is close.
I ain't never seen that.
Yeah.
I ain't never see you give a shout out to the AKAs.
No, I didn't say it on there. No, I didn't
say
say it on there. But you're right. I did say that. I didn't say it on a whatchamacallit. But when I thought about it, I said, well, damn, it is kind of like, but it ain't the same because they would have really been on
It's closer to Ski Wee than it is to the dude song that you played.
You think it's closer to this? So why you think they ain't get on her ass then?
Because they get to dance to it. That's their shit. And when they get at college parties,
been doing. That's what they've been doing. They've been dancing.
I'm quite sure. I ain't been on the college campus, but I'm quite sure. Zetas go like ski.
I know the AKAs shit sound like
they all got like a ski.
Right.
I think Delta, Zetas, and AKAs. I don't know why Gamma Rose do, but I'm quite sure they at the parties when they come on, they get to throw their sign up and make their noise with the song.
They'll have a good reason to kind of say it's kind of close to their shit too. Yeah. So I could kind of see that. But I had thought about that when me and my cousin was we went to college in Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and we was talking about it, and he was like, man, it kind of go like this shit too, whatever. They could probably have a certain way they might say too, whatever. But I know both of them was saying, they was both saying the same thing.
Yeah.
But those female sororities could probably have an argument in that too, and they would probably have a real credible argument.
If they got that sound trademarked or, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
That's why I say, I feel like if they really want to, like, if they felt like it was like that, I think they'll have a cease to exist and they probably just shut it down. So
I think the dude Well, because the dude in Louisiana,
Dirt Light.
Did he ever come out there? Did he say something?
Well, he did.
I mean,
say
of
something.
course, it's a benefit, right?
Yeah.
Like, number one, it highlights his song.
Right.
Number two, she got more momentum, so of course, she would want on it. AKAs, Deltas, they got vice presidents of the country, and they got people in power. They not worried about that. But I understand why he would.
Fraternity dudes gonna let you say they shit or something close to. They probably gonna fight or they gonna.
I mean,
stop
DeRoe
that
said his song, who like Q Dog. I mean, shit.
But he shouted him out though. I think because he shouted him out.
I mean, Qs, you can't be out in public and just be barking like, shout out to the Q Dogs and just start shooting their shit off.
Well, I guess you're right, because I know the Cappers got on Boosie. When he wore the
when the Cappers sweated to the game. When
he wore the whiskey, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. With that, you being a spokesman, as we touched on earlier, and recently, like online sensation, Terrance Gangsta Williams.
Right.
So he came home, he took what was meant for hate for him, and he popped his own channel off.
Right.
A lot of people got a lot of disdain for him, but he's very vocal, and people tap in and listen to what he got to say.
Definitely.
But he has some pushback on you being labeled the spokesman of New Orleans, behest to you by Sean Cotton, for Say Cheese TV. How do you feel about Terrance coming at you? Saying you're not the spokesman.
Like, I mean, his to me is like it don't really matter that he said that or whatever. I mean, I got it by somebody that was credible and their name pretty good in the media hip hop community. So for Sean to give me that, I was cool with that. I know why Gangsta did that because the artist I work with, J Merck, made the song Don't Even Count. Yeah. So when he dissed him, he didn't like that record or whatever. And I posted it on my blog and it went through the city and all through everywhere. And I guess a lot of his supporters had sent him the video and he didn't like it or whatever. But he wanted to hear the song and then he did like it and he talked about it and he was like, man, yeah, I saw your video when you was at the Capitol talking about the 10-2 law and that was good, but you still a contradiction because you're posting gangster rap and you're doing this. And I was like, well, gangster, you helping the kids, but then you still talking about old murder eps and all kind of other stuff that people was talking about.
That's a whataboutism. So are you a contradiction?
Well, I would say, that's why I never said I was a spokesman like that or whatever, like I'm speaking for everybody or whatever. I was just speaking on things I'm doing. I'm a blogger. I never said I was no Malcolm X.
So are you the spokesman for New Orleans?
Man, look, I just speak for myself.
Yes
like
or
I
no?
told Sean.
So no.
I speak for myself, no.
So you just Geedy P.
I'm just Geedy P and I'm just one of many people that's doing what they're doing. And a lot of people got a voice. I'm just using mine the way I use it, but Sean gave it a nickname, but like I told Sean, I never said I was a spokesman. I just was speaking
but
how I felt.
But you run with the name though.
Huh?
You run with the name.
I never posted that. I never hashtag nothing that said no spokesman. No.
You never did.
No, never did. Nope.
Do you contradict yourself though?
Well, I mean, people might say because I'm running a blog and there's gangster stuff on there, but then I'm still trying to talk about how to help people get out of jail and I might post positive things, whatever. Then yeah, that could kind of come off as a contradiction because this is my business, I'm doing this, but then the other stuff that I feel passionate about, but I'm still doing the hip hop blog and stuff. So I guess my job could kind of seem like that to some people. Might feel like that.
And I appreciate that explanation.
Right.
So do you contradict yourself?
It could be a contradiction.
But is it?
I mean, I guess it could be coming off like that or whatever, because this is what I do.
I know how it comes off.
Right.
But is it?
No, I'm who I am. Gregory Earls, when I go to the Capitol building, that's how I feel. But if I'm posting an artist that got music and all that, that's what I do, whatever, and stuff like that. If I run a record label, if I got a football team, but this is what I do over here, but this is what I do on sports. But when I'm doing this is what I do outside of that. So outside of that, this is what I'm doing. Or that's me. Geedy P is on here.
Yeah.
And when I'm Gregory Earls, I'm in the Capitol building and stuff like that. I'm doing those things. I'm trying to help people vote. I'm trying to help people fight against laws and injustice and criminal justice reform and all that. That's what I'm doing on that. But yes, I am a hip-hop blog, and I love hip-hop. There's a lot of different sides to me, so if you want to say that's contradictory because I'm doing that, but how the part gonna call the kettle black? Like, he did probably worse shit than me. For him to try to say that I'm bad, I mean, for him, like, gangster.
Terrance.
Yeah, he probably done worse shit than me, but he gonna
let's say he
count
did,
me or whatever.
Let's say he did do worser things to you than you.
Right.
Are you a contradiction?
I can't say it's contradicting like that or whatever because I'm just doing my job on here.
So yes or no?
So no, I'm not a contradiction.
Okay.
No, I'm not a contradiction. I'm saying how I feel, I'm doing what I'm doing, and I know you're gonna keep going back. That's bad, crazy, though. I know you're gonna keep going back and forth that he could say whatever he want. He only feel like that because J Merck made the song, and the song was hard and people like it. That's how J Merck felt. J Merck don't.
What exactly did J Merck say in the song?
J Merck was saying, everything you did in the game don't even count. He was just saying like all the stuff you did that you talk about that, you can't never forget about it because he did what he did. But he's saying it don't count no more because, you got a stain on you now. It don't hit the same no more. Your credibility is not what it once was. So everything you did in the game, it don't count. All the points don't matter. It's like taking the Heisman back.
Now, how you feel about it?
I felt like just like Gangsta felt. I felt like it was a great record. Yeah. Gangsta said the song was hot. It's hard. The beat hard. I think the beat hard. I think the song dope. It did what it did. It is what it is. I can't tell J Merck how to feel about people like that. J Merck did 12 years in jail. He felt a certain way. I didn't. So I'm not gonna be like, oh man, you can't make this song. You can't make this song. You can't do that. You can't be creative. You can do whatever you want. That's how you feel. You got to stand on that. Gangsta said, I know why my brothers don't mess with me no more because I did what I did. And if somebody else would have did the same thing, I wouldn't have fucked with them neither. And that's what he said. And he said, I got to live with the decision I made. So like Merck said, it don't count to him or whatever. But I get it. But like Gang said, I got work to do. I'm a work in progress every day. So
I tell you what, like, I'm just pushing back.
I
know what I'm saying? That's what I'm here for. Right. Recently, BT, Tyler Perry purchases BT now. And so you own BT and he own VH1. And we recently at the BT Awards. Chief Keef back.
Right.
First time appearing on it since he was banned.
Right.
How do you feel like the celebration of 50 years of hip hop, but like Cash Money wasn't bigged up? No Limit wasn't bigged up because New Orleans, Louisiana, Cash Money, No Limit made a huge, one of the biggest contributions to hip hop. How do you feel about the lack of representation?
Like I said, I don't know if it was, I don't know if they did reach out to Baby and them or not, but not to see them there for a fan, just as a fan, it was disgusting to see that or whatever. Because like I said, Cash Money didn't impact the shit in so many areas. And Master P was there, and he did his song, and he shouted Baby and them out still. But like I said, Cash Money influenced a lot. From the hot boys to people want to put diamonds in their mouth, do donuts and the t-shirt. Just like a lot of dudes still making old Cash Money songs and comedians acting like big timers doing donuts. Like, it's a lot of people that still influenced by Cash Money still to this day. And even Lil Wayne influenced on everybody. Like, he wasn't celebrated. So to not celebrate Cash Money, don't even think about just Southern hip-hop, just hip-hop period, like you said. Like, Cash Money, like hip-hop without Cash Money, what would it be? Like, what would it be if we would have never got a chance to see Juvenile, the Hot Boys, Baby and them, and Man and Fresh Beats? I don't know. And artists they was able to influence that came behind them, how the music would sound. So I felt like it was ridiculous for Cash Money not to be celebrated at that award show.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't watch the award show.
Right.
So they played nothing for Cash Money and No Limit.
From what I seen, only thing I seen was when they did the stuff with Mass P. P came out there and he did No Limit Soldier
Okay,
song.
So they did represent the South.
Yeah, so P was out there, but Baby wasn't there. But yeah, No Limit. They did do stuff in the South too. They had Luke there.
I mean, I'm talking about from
New
Cash
Orleans.
Money, New Orleans.
Well, New Orleans, it was just Master P with the No Limit Soldier.
Did E40 come out from the Bay?
E40 was there. I can't remember because, like I said, I was at work that day, but I kind of skimmed through it. But E40 was in attendance, but I think they did a lot of stuff for the Bay too, or whatever. I just don't. But in New Orleans, it was only Master P.
It get kind of, maybe, like you said, we
because it was
speculate.
3 hours or whatever,
We can only speculate.
Right.
We don't know who they reached out to. We don't know, and then how do you cram 50 years of people? But you would think the top dog.
Yeah,
but if Master P there, we gotta speculate, right? Baby was reached out to. How you reach out to P and say, nah, not Baby?
Right, that's why I'm saying I don't know if Baby probably get along with some people at BT or whatever. I don't know. Cause you're right. I mean, if they
maybe they
did,
Baby, maybe he just had to turn down because he
could have been busy or something. I don't know. We'll really never know till I probably ask him that or whatever. Cause I didn't even ask him that when I was talking on the phone with him or whatever. But that's something to ask him or whatever. Why he didn't go or whatever and all that. Cause like you said, biggest Cash Money is people would have wanted Cash Money to be there to represent. Yeah. So that is kind of like something that'll have everybody wondering. P there, but Baby not there. But P still shouted Baby out and still let them know like we appreciate everything y'all did too because y'all contribution mattered.
Yeah. Now Billboard released a list.
Top 50 groups?
Top 50 groups. Outkast took number 1.
Definitely.
Which I'm okay with that.
Right.
I don't know too many rap groups who sold as many albums.
Diamond Records.
You know what I'm saying? Got as many certified records as them. I think that was them being number 1 was cool.
Right.
Who would be your top 5?
My shit, see, I ain't last time I did 3, so all right, now you can put the pressure on. Bam, all right, top 5.
We can do 3. Do 3.
Okay, no, I could do. I'll try to do 5. Cause I did 3 on somewhere else. 1 definitely is Outkast.
Yeah.
Outkast, one of my favorite groups. And I know people gonna mostly think I should probably Hot Boys. No, I love them, but they wasn't together. They didn't do number 3 albums. They did the Get It How You Live, Guerrilla Warfare when they got the deal, and then they did Let Them Burn, which didn't get really promoted that good. So overall, I would say that, but as a group that put out the records and just the stats we looking at like that, Outkast definitely deserved it. Like I said, they got the Diamond records.
Yeah.
They got the Source 5 mics and all that. They got the longevity, and they really came in as a group. Like they wasn't just like solo artists, and then they really was a group when they came in '94. And then they said the South got something to say, you know. So it just come full circle to show you like that the whole thing. Like damn, at one time they didn't even love us, but now they making us number 1. Look how far they came. And we're in a position to help Atlanta get into. Number 2, I would go with the most dangerous group ever, NWA. You know, Eric Wright, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, DJ Yellow, MC Ren. Disruptive. They spoke to the times. Fuck the police. It was urgent what they represented, and then they represent the Dope Boys. So I felt like everybody in any urban part across America could relate to Boys in the Hood. It was relatable. My 3rd group I would say would be Run DMC. Because they represented the culture. And we talking about 50 years, so I can't just be biased to my era. I know how big they was to the swagger, to the style, to the music, to just what they represented, you know, for the culture. So I feel like Run DMC will be number 3. Now if I go 4, I'm put the Hot Boys in there, whatever. At number 4 will be the Hot Boys for me. And then I will put the last one, I would go with Dipset, Diplomats. I like the Diplomats a lot too, whatever.
Okay.
So Cam Jewels and Santana would be my 5 favorite groups of all time to me.
I'm trying to pull up who Billboard put one.
Yeah, because I know in 3, I know they had the top 3 was Outkast, Wu-Tang Clan, and who else was 3rd? And then NWA was number 3.
Number 3?
I think NWA was number 3, but I think they had Wu-Tang number 2. And Wu-Tang was a dope group and all that stuff like that. You know, they had a lot of dope solo artists that came out of that group, but to me, I felt like NWA impact is more felt, not just like Wu-Tang Clan, like we wasn't really influenced by Wu-Tang. Like I wasn't hearing nobody trying to get Wu-Tang where I was from.
It was Outkast, Wu-Tang, NWA, Tribe Called Quest,
Run
DMC, Public Enemy, Eric B. Rakim, Salt and Pepper, De La Soul, The Roots.
I think they only had 20. I mean, I think they only had 4 Southern groups in the top 20 and all that. So I mean, you know,
but that's cool. I mean, I think that's a fair list, and I think your list is pretty good too. I don't know, Hot Boys wouldn't be up there for me.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like I love Hot Boys.
That's your bias.
Yeah. But I just feel like Hot Boys.
You putting Hot Boys up there is like me trying to throw D12 in the top 5.
But D12 ain't influenced a lot of people like the Hot Boys though. That's
D12 influenced a lot of people.
But like the Hot Boys. Like Wayne, BG, Turk, and Juvenile?
I feel like they individually cash money.
They still a group though. They still in that group. They still a part of that group.
I don't feel like they influenced because of the group. I think they influenced because of the conglomerate.
Man, them dudes was holding Cash Money down, man.
Yeah.
When UNLV left, it was the Hot Boys.
I get it. What I'm saying is, I feel like the names were bigger than the group.
Why you think everybody want to name their group Hot Boy this and this and that and all that?
I agree. But I feel like the name, the people in the group, the individuals is hotter than the actual Hot Boy group. But you can't
take them. I mean, it's still who they is. No matter how you try to take it, they in the group or they is.
What I'm saying is nobody is pulling up for the Hot Boy group. They're pulling up for Wayne. They pulling up for Juvie. They pulling up for Turk. They pulling up for the individuals. And when they come together, like Power Rangers come together and make the one big Power Ranger, then it's the Hot Boys.
Yeah, but when you still when everybody think of them boys got tattoos with Hot Boys on.
Like,
that was
niggas think of UGK down here before Hot Boys.
I mean, in Texas, some people might say UGK, some people might say Hot Boys. A lot of people in Texas love the Hot Boys too. I love UGK.
I'm not taking them from the
I
Hot
love
Boys.
UGK too. I love Pimp, and Pimp had a big influence.
I'm just pointing out your bias, and it's cool.
I mean, I said that. I said this what I like though. I told you I said the 3, and then I said I like Dipset, and I said I like the Hot Boys.
That's cool.
And I got New Orleans shit on.
There you
so
go.
everybody got a little bias in them. Do you gonna
for
still have a
sure.
little bias in Detroit or
I'm
whatever?
very biased. I
And you
don't,
just said that. But I just feel like the Hot Boys got more of it. And I think
I just don't like when people try to parade as if they're not biased.
I think dudes in Detroit
bullshit.
agree with this if they're watching this, that the Hot Boys are more influential than D12.
I agree. D12 was ass.
Come on, man. Come on. Breaking me through this shit.
I ain't gonna lie. He's just like, nobody checking for D12. You don't even know the other two nigga names in the group.
Come on, man.
So, you know.
Cut them a large.
But shout out to Proof. Shout out to, the Bazaar. Shout out to Imp Marshall. The other two. I forgot their names, but
see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. So no, I'm just saying if you're gonna put Hot Boys there just because I'm from Detroit.
You see what Juvenile just did on that Tiny Desk?
Killed it.
That's what I'm saying.
Killed it.
That's impact.
Some songs didn't work for Tiny Desk that they did.
Yeah, because you said you didn't like it with some of the instruments. They didn't really hit too good.
They didn't kill, back that ass up. When they brought the white people in with the for the orchestra.
Yeah.
No, the dude playing the bass.
Okay.
And the lady playing the violin. I already knew what they was about to do.
Right.
But they didn't give me the iconic, because you got to think, when you hear Back That Ass Up, Come on the Club, as soon as you hear the boom, 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 boom,
yeah.
I feel like they didn't build that part up. Because that's the iconic part.
That's the part, and then it hit you with the drop come, yeah.
Bling Bling didn't work good with a live band. Right. But overall, they killed it.
But you feel like it was a learning experience. It was something that he could build on and be like, well, damn, I could make it a little better.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to hear Juvenile live band in the concert.
So you wouldn't want to hear. So what about other artists doing it live?
I think live bands really work for like lyrical miracle rappers. Like Jay-Z live bands work for guys who's like, you got to hear their bars. Juvie,
so it worked for Wayne, but not Juvie to you.
Maybe Wayne, yes.
Maybe. What you mean? Maybe Wayne ain't lyrical?
No, Wayne is lyrical, but Wayne is a beat writer with his lyricism. Like, I feel like his lyrics and the beat really, really complements itself. Whereas niggas in New York Nas was always a victim of this. Not picking the best beats because he think his lyrics will outdo the beat. I feel like Wayne, what makes him so well is when you heard a Millie, the way that beat and how he rode that beat.
Rick Ross is the same way too.
Yeah.
Rick Ross too.
So Wayne, I think some songs would hit with a live and some would miss. But I think when you got more so like Jay-Z, because a lot of Kanye sampled a lot of Motown type of music.
So it's more soulful because all the acoustic stuff.
That would kind of fit. Y'all 808 heavy down here.
Right, that's
y'all bass. And so taking away that bass kind of take away from y'all. But Juvenile worked in that Tiny Desk space.
Right.
The intimacy of it, that works. But a concert, I don't want to hear Juvenile.
Right. You rather just hear the regular way.
Yeah, I wanted that 808. I want to hear the bounce.
Right.
You can't get the New Orleans, that Southern bounce with live band.
I could kind of see that.
And so that's that. I want to end with this because I love your platform. And I'd always said this with bloggers. I know we're going to talk about like people want to get on the blogs and don't want to pay and shit like that because I had that debate in Detroit.
And you did a great job with that when you talked about that too.
Yeah, because I'm all about, hey, if you pay, it's fair. If everybody walk away, you pay me, I get my money, you get your placement, we walk away fair.
Right.
I love fair.
Right.
But the one thing I love about your platform, because I said, don't no blogger blog about themselves more than Geedy P.
Right.
I'd be like, yeah, Geedy gonna post the news, but Geedy gonna post himself.
Right.
Like, Geedy P is gonna big up himself no matter what.
Right.
And I like it. But do you feel like posting that way also gets in your own way and kind of limits you and pigeonhole you solely to your region?
No, because like I said, I can still talk about stuff from everywhere. But I feel like by me doing it, that's how I started. Like when I first started, that's all I was doing. I was just posting me, talking about different things. And then I started seeing how Say Cheese academics do it, and I started posting other little videos that I felt like was getting engagement. Yeah. And then later on, I started sprinkling artists in that I kind of highlight them. But I started off, if you go back on my Facebook, it's videos a long time ago when I'm talking about stuff about Haiti and New Orleans and just like hip-hop, how I felt about Jay-Z or Nas or DMX. So I always was doing that. So that's what I think that I was like, man, I'm going to just talk about my stuff and people might like it and they might know. So when I went to seeing people like my opinions, like Charleston White and all them, they talk on it live, they post videos with them. I was just doing it and I was adding the blogging content with the Juvenile video with them doing the music stuff, or somebody saying that Master P don't deserve, like Joe Budden said, oh, Master P don't deserve no damn no show about him like Wu-Tang Clan or BMF, which I thought that was crazy. But I'm saying like I post videos like that, and that was getting engagement too. On top of me saying how I felt if I wanted to speak to the people and give them my opinion.
Yeah.
So I felt like that's what made me different from most other people, because most other people wouldn't put themselves out there in the line of fire. They was just really going. Most of them really, you didn't even know who behind them. You just seen the content, but you didn't never really see the face for some people.
Will you ever, because you so knowledgeable and you also opinionated,
right?
Would you ever get into the space of an academics where you're sitting on Twitch or Bumble or whatever that other one called,
right?
Or YouTube Live and actually taking what you're saying and posting and just mic'd up and had them conversation?
I mean, it's possible. Like I said, I don't know.
Because I can see that for you.
Yeah, I mean, I probably get into that or whatever. I'm still, like, a lot of this stuff I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Like, y'all doing, like I said, bro, like I tell people all the time, what y'all doing out here in Dallas, y'all killing it. Like, you know, like I'm a big fan of your shit. You know, that's why I always tapping with you down here. Sean put a light on me. Boss Talk, a lot of y'all. It's so many of y'all. I don't want to forget nobody or whatever. I like Terry doing everybody. Y'all just way ahead of the curve with this shit or whatever. And I learned a lot of stuff from y'all. Just like my partner, D from Baton Rouge, whatever. Every time he come down, he pick your brain.
Yeah.
And try to learn stuff to go back to Louisiana and try to do things to help us. So I appreciate everything you do and all that, and it might be something I might learn to do and do that too, whatever, and stuff like that, you know, because I had to figure this shit out on my own. Nobody didn't teach me how to do it. I just was learning as I go. I'm looking at how Sean putting posts together and looking at the app. I'm like, oh, this how you do it. You put the picture right here, put your video right there, and you post it.
Yeah, you just get a little inspiration and start making it your own.
Right.
That's a good way to do it, man. I'll tell you what, Geedy, congrats.
Man, thank you, man.
Cash money in
man.
the building. Hey, man, I appreciate you. Hey, when you get to your heights and you up there on your throne, man, don't forget about the little ones down
man,
here.
I can't forget, man. Like I said, the first time when I came, I think we couldn't do nothing because I think something had happened. Then I came back.
That's when my cameras got stolen.
Yeah, that's when cameras got stolen. I think that was out here got stolen. Yeah.
And that didn't work, and then we came back and we doubled back again.
But see, every time I come down there, I be like, D, where you at, bro? I can't miss you. Tall dude, played football for the Saints before. I can't miss him.
Hey, man,
you gonna see him with the bucket hat on, low like Jigga Man.
There you go. Well, I tell you what, man, Geedy, man, you're always welcome. And shoot, man, I gotta come pull up on you in the end, though.
Yeah, come get some gumbo and all that, man. Thank you for always challenging me and always kind of ruffling me up a little bit. Nobody don't ruffle my ass up like you. You be ruffling me up, going back, you looking on the side. I got him, you know. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, and thank you your team and all that too, whatever and all that, man.
Hey, for sure. Until we meet again.
Already.
Peace.